I'm not going to sit here, guys, and pretend I know all the interminglings and behind the scenes with the MiBR roster, but I think a lot of us can agree they've been struggling for quite some time now, and a repetitive problem to hit this Counter-Strike team, at least the outside looking in. Right? We only can know so much based off the stats and results we see, so take my opinion with a grain of salt. You guys, of course, can leave your thoughts down below about this. I think MiBR has a repetitive problem when it comes to their approach to Counter-Strike, especially with their lack of results and their lack of success and achievements for years now. This roster is slowly becoming what the old Virtus Plow 5 was until they degraded into nothingness and retirement. And I don't want to see that any longer. If you guys watched their last championship, that being the Flashpoint Championship and Grand Finals, that was one of the worst throws I have ever seen. And following that, a change was obviously probably, I think, by a lot of people's eyes, was set to come. And it has now come potentially for a young player and their newest member. Again, that being MiBR, less than 6 months with the roster. His targeted replacement, another rising South American, supposedly promising talent in TRK. Something we have seen time and time and a couple more times with this roster so far. The remaining core three Fallen alongside Fur and of course Taco. And I don't mean to say one of those three has to go, but I think the biggest problem inside MiBR is not changing, potentially not changing those core three and what could be a core issue right now in the roster. And especially we look back, guys, just last month, not too long ago, you have your long-term coach departing the roster and clearly stating this team needed A, a giant cultural change, or B, a pretty big roster change. And I don't think he had in mind what would be the younger guy who just joined the roster 5.5 months ago in MiBR. Of course, Zews is now off this roster, guys. Best of luck to him in his future venture as well. But now we see it for the what? How many times are we going to see this happen? And again, I don't mean any offense to these guys. I'm just trying to, outside looking in, identify what is possibly going on here that we have seen ever since Tarek and Stewie and Bolts and Lucas and Phelps and MiBR, all, by the way, anywhere from 1 to 6 months with this roster until they were changed out again as a corollary part. What stays the same is these core three. And you got to understand, obviously, this could be a fair approach, and this approach has worked for a lot of teams out there. It has not worked for MiBR. At some point or another, you sit back and go, wow, I understand why coldzera wanted to leave. Maybe he saw this stagnation. He saw the future maybe not looking so bright for this core, which he was once a part of, and he saw higher potential elsewhere, and so he left. And now I'm sitting back, and at first you think, oh, what a betrayal, and now you maybe understand exactly what is going on. Zews is gone too, and it may be the same issue. A change that needed to be made will not be made because this core three has become so notable and so close to each other. Maybe you even add K and G to this established core, and together they think of themselves as so highly talented and so together that they will never change one of their own, which maybe that's okay. Maybe it'll work out months from now, a year from now, if they're still playing, but they have been preaching their return and their rise and their dedication in Counter-Strike, and we have not seen it time and time and time again. So I think maybe this critique is warranted. They keep on changing the new guys and not changing one of the old guys. At what point? What does it take to make that change? Maybe sometime soon we will see. I'm just sick and tired of seeing, a lackluster roster. A roster I expect so much of. And to combat all of those complaints, obviously you guys probably have some good reasons. I don't think this is necessarily probably the fairest assessment of a roster out there. But, oh, they made a grand finals for Flashpoint. We all know the top talent is an ESL Pro League. The only team inside the top 20 at the time they beat, that being MiBR beat to make those grand finals, was Mad Lions, who they then lost to in the grand finals. The competition is not even close to what ESL is. So yeah, we might see these maybe appearances of what seems to be the old MiBR, these flashes. Ironically enough, during Flashpoint, we saw these flashes back to the past of what this core can be, and I do think they still have high potential, especially guys like Fallen and Fur showcase how great they are, but just not enough, and we don't see that enough of the time, consistently enough. I don't know what the problems are. I don't know what the issues are. My biggest problem at MiBR, though, is the changing out of these young guns and trying to target these promising talents, trying to find a rising coldzera-like talent. Is it possible? Is it going to happen? I hope. and we'll find out. What do you guys think? Until next time, drink your water, drink your coffee, take care of yourselves, all right? Brazilians, don't be mad at me. I do believe this roster can still be with it. They don't have to fall out like Virtus Plow did, all right? Until next time, take care. Bye-bye. Something's gotta give. Something's gotta change. 'Cause all I do is give. And all you do is take.